That's what he said when he was talking to himself. Anyway, the Hardball Roundtable tonight. Heather McGhee's president of Demos Action. Sophia Nelson's a contributor to NBCNews.com. And Beth Phooey is senior politics editor for NBC News. You know, I'm just going to throw this out. What's 1 year done to our country and the way we talk to each other?
You really actually can't, I think, put a measure on it. You know, Donald Trump campaigned basically promising to hurt a whole bunch of American people, right? Immigrants, Muslims, rolling back women's rights. Me, yeah, exactly. Me, everyone on this panel. And he's done everything in his power to do that. And yet he also promised to help a whole lot of people, right? People in the working class that he thinks are, you know, all white men. And he's done none of it, right? No jobs and infrastructure plan. Threatened health care for 20 million people. Threatened to raise their taxes to cut his own. It is really an example of where this us versus them that he created of sort of, you know, beleaguered white men in the center and everybody else crowding around. The American people are not seeing that as the us versus them. They're seeing a political elite as the them. And I think we saw in Virginia across the country last night that people want a different kind of politics.
I agree. Sophia?
I think the president's enduring legacy, which is tragic in his first year, is that he took us to a place we'd never gone to before in our dialogue with each other as people. We were talking about this earlier, and the way he talks on Twitter and hurling insults and not feeling bad about it and not backing down from it, calling people wacky, all the things that he does that we've never seen a president do. And I think the response to his first year is last night in Virginia, where I live. I live in Loudoun County. Northam carried Loudoun County by 20 points. That's unheard of for a Democrat to do. And it was a resounding rejection, I think, of his divisiveness and this anger and this bitingness and this just nastiness that I think Trump has given us that we're becoming a bit comfortable with and immune to, which scares me.
Beth?
Yeah, I don't think we're immune to it. I think what we've seen, and I'm going to put this in a really positive light, is that people are waking up. They've woken up. People a year ago, on the eve of the 2016 election, were sort of hanging around doing Pokemon Go. Remember? That was the big thing back then. Everybody's kind of asleep. They were not particularly happy with the choices of Trump or Clinton. They were looking at Gary Johnson. They were looking at Jill Stein. They were thinking about maybe staying home. Suddenly, with the election of Trump, everybody knows that your vote matters. The folks that he supported him now know their vote matters. The deplorables who he just spoke to in that tweet, they feel like they've got a voice now. The people who oppose Trump are very much woken up. They're engaged. They're participating in politics. They realize that their vote matters. They realize that democracy is fragile and that if they're going to protect it, they've got to get out there and vote and do that. So it's produced a lot of energy, which in the end I think is a positive energy.
Heather, I think you might have something that I've been thinking about getting ready for this segment. I think last year's election was over attitude. Do you like the establishment or not? It was sort of about the argument. Do you like the insiders, the Hillary people, the Mitch McConnells, or do you like sort of want to send them a message, to hell with you guys? And this time it's about performance. It's not about attitude. It's not about inner versus out. It's about, what do you think of this president's performance? Does he make you proud? Does he make you feel good? I don't think people feel very good about it. Most people, I think, are embarrassed by this guy.
I think that's right. I mean, he walked into the White House historically unpopular, right? I like to remind people that he came in third in the election. The first was people who didn't vote at all. The second was people who voted for Hillary. And the third was him.
He reminds us of having won the Electoral College.
Yeah, every
by
time.
304.
Yeah, but third in the popular vote, actually, behind, you know, abstentions and Hillary Clinton. And so what people are saying...
By the way, there was no way to vote for Jill or for Gary Johnson. They were not really plausible presidential candidates.
Right, and so...
Bernie was plausible. You know, other people were plausible. Yeah. You know, Marco Rubio may have been plausible, but not those two. Gary Johnson couldn't name a world leader when I sat with him. That was a problem.
That is a problem. And so you're seeing right now, though, I think something that's very exciting, which is, yes, these issues still matter, right? Economic inequality still matters, right? People are still struggling and think that their children are not going to have a better life than them. But they're actually turning now to Democrats who finally have been forced to have a plan, I think.
You have just exhausted our time, but we're going to come back with Beth Work the other way. The roundtable's staying with us, and up next, these three will give me scoops. We'll be talking about tomorrow. There's lots of news out there tonight, and this is Hardball, where the action is.